Clemson football is 1-2. Now what? It's a good question. And I want to go ahead and start off by saying something that I think that I need to maybe say throughout this video, because there's some of you, you hear the words coming out of my mouth. And then there's others out there that I don't know if you're drunk, intoxicated, maybe someone fired up a microwave near you and it scrambles your brain. You hear things that I don't say. Maybe I blink a little too much and you think that I'm sending some sort of message that no one else is not catching. They're not catching, but you do. Dabo Swinney does not need to be fired. Let's go ahead and start off with that. All right. Let's go ahead and start off with that. Can he be criticized in a civil way? Yes. So, Clemson goes 1-2. They play LSU. We saw how that game went. The offense that we saw in the third quarter against Troy and the offense that we saw in quarters 2, 3, and 4 yesterday against a good Georgia Tech team was not the offense that even stepped out on the field, save maybe part in one drive, maybe in the entire LSU game. And the question is why? And if your thought is Clemson didn't want to show their playbook, my response to you is against the toughest team that they were going to play all year, they're trying to hide plays from Troy and Duke. They're trying to hide plays from Furman. That's an excuse that we need to stop offering. I said a couple of weeks ago that Clemson, if they were having problems with the offense, especially the offensive line, move Cade in the pocket, send a man in motion pre-snap, get a little misdirection run a sweep or something. Clemson did a lot of that yesterday, and believe it or not, in quarters 2, 3, and 4, Clemson's offense looked a lot better. So I don't know if someone is watching. I doubt they're watching my channel, but maybe they're reading something that's in the Clemson community that they feel is worth paying attention to. But a lot of fans have been asking this question, then all of a sudden it shows up 3 out of 4 quarters yesterday. And it worked. So where was that against LSU? We just lost our third consecutive season opener. We're 0-2 at night at home. If my memory serves me correct, the last 2 night games that we played was obviously LSU in the season opener, and then last year you go back to Louisville. You're 0-2. It's frustrating. There's a lot of questions here. It doesn't make sense. How are you 1-2 with all this talent that came back? See, logical football fans step back and they look at the talent that Clemson was returning. One of, if not the most experienced football teams coming back in all of college football. Now, Troy lost their quarterback in yesterday's game, but Troy, the team that just came to Clemson and had Clemson all bound up in the first half, that team lost 28-7 yesterday to Memphis. And that was a home game for Troy. And so I'm sitting here as a person who gave Clemson the benefit. I didn't even give them the benefit of the doubt. It was just looking at all the talent coming back, feeling like they had a solid amount of pieces coming back coaching-wise, to where all you would really have to do is let this talent do what this talent can do, and you're going to win the vast majority of your games. I'm not talking about 7 out of 12 games. I'm talking about 10 wins, 11 wins, even giving you a one loss for a margin of error, because it is tough to go undefeated. This is not the NFL. And now Clemson is 1-2. And in the preseason, I stated that if Clemson lost 3 regular season games, it would be a catastrophic failure. We're 3 games in and we've already lost 2. Every time Clemson plays a team who can punch them in the mouth, said team walks out, punches them in the mouth, beats Clemson, and then afterwards, there's it's almost shocked that Clemson's going to get people's best efforts. It's almost like the question is, you would think that would be like we know that we're going to get people's best shot because we're Clemson. And I'm going to get to the brand and how the brand is going to take a shot in just a moment. But I want to, and you know what? I'm going to do that now. Let's talk about winning. Dabo Swinney is the reason that Clemson has had what they've had. Period. His success overshadows Danny Ford. No offense, Coach Ford. Dabo Swinney, his results overshadows everyone in Clemson history. There we go. So, there's something that happened there. He showed us what winning looked like. He showed us what it looked like to win. He showed us the demands that created the mindset, the locker room. I would say culture, but I'm so sick and tired of hearing about culture between the business world and sports teams. They've just made it so blah. Let's just be specific about it. It's the mindset. It's the brotherhood. It's the we're all going for the same goal. We're all on the same page. We're holding one another accountable. We're getting better. We're not beating one another down, but we're not going to turn our head to a lack of production. And that includes our coaches. That includes our position coaches. That includes our coordinators. That includes all the way up to the head coach. He showed us what that looked like. And this week in his press conference, someone from the media asked him a question roundabout like, have you seen any of this in practice? This is before the Georgia Tech game. This is like Monday. And he said, no, we haven't seen this. Coach Swinney looks tired. And it looks like that he doesn't know how to approach what's going on. And I'm not taking a shot at him. I'm saying that respectfully. He literally looks like, guys, I don't know. We have a bunch of talent. I don't know. I don't know what's happening. And so, I'm being respectful there, and I'm not saying anything wrong. I'm not taking a shot at him. He just seems like he doesn't know how it's happening. So I want to, and he's the one who created this winning culture, but I want to take a step back and I want to look at Nebraska. From 1969 to 2001, that's a long time, y'all. That's a long, long time. Nebraska won at least 9 games every year, and the vast majority of those years were under Coach Tom Osborne. Tom Osborne retired. Frank Solich took over. He was the 2001 team. They won. They got to the national championship and had the misfortune of playing the 2001 Miami team, who a lot of people believes was the best college football team to ever step on a field. They beat the crap out of Nebraska in the Rose Bowl for the national championship. Then things started to go downhill. Then they got back to a 10-win season. They fired Frank Solich. And if my timeline's a little, but they ended up moving on from Frank Solich, and they brought in someone else. And then it wasn't so good. Then they brought in Bo Pelini. They were winning 9 games, 10 games here and there, but it still wasn't that Nebraska football that they knew. Brought in Scott Frost, or Mike Riley, excuse me. Then they went to Scott Frost after everything went downhill. Now they're on Matt Rule. Why do I bring up Nebraska? Nebraska, as much as we love our Clemson Tigers, Clemson has not had near the success over time that the Nebraska Cornhuskers had. Notice the past tense, had. And so for some of us who are freaking out right now, sitting here going, hold on, we've seen that things have not been to that elite standard at Clemson. Then you have other Clemson fans who's going, hey, listen, we've had some really, really good times, and you're just freaking out. You're freaking out, and you think that the sky's falling. Look, we're not going to win the national championship every year. We're not going to win games every year, and that's the truth. You're not going to do that. But the balance between both of these two, one who wants Swinney fired, one who's like, it is what it is, but, we still got Swinney on the sidelines and we're still Clemson. Let me find you right in the middle, not to straddle the fence, but just to bring, hopefully, a good, solid, logical thought between the two. Swinney, again, does not need to be fired. And on the other side of things, if you don't protect the brand and the momentum that Clemson has obtained, it's going to start to chip away at the brand. It's going to chip away at how people take us serious in the media and in the recruiting world. And as that chips away, you're not going to be a top brand in college football. So you have to protect it. It's in the middle there. Don't fire Swinney, but don't just keep giving this the benefit of the doubt. Folks, when was 2018? We're in 2025, folks. I'll be 43 in about 5 or 6 weeks. When Clemson won the national championship in 2016, I was early 30s. Time keeps on slipping into the future, to quote Steve Miller. And some of you are over here losing your mind wanting to fire Dabo, and I just think that's wrong. And then some of you on the other side is giving so much benefit of the doubt to the coaching staff right now that you're losing the overall point that Clemson is slipping. And this season proves it more than any other season since 2018. There's a balance to strike. And I'm going to say this, you're both wrong. Strike a good balance in between. We don't want Coach Swinney fired. But we got to protect. Clemson needs to protect. And when the head man walks up to a mic on a Monday morning after he's had time to sleep on it, and a member of the legacy Clemson media asks him, Coach, have you seen any of this in your practice? And with a tired look, not exhausted, but just a tired, almost kind of like, no, we haven't. We're playing good teams and they're beating us. Folks, if you took Coach Swinney's name out of this, you took Clemson out of this, and you heard anyone else make that statement, what would you come to the conclusion of? I know I have the flag and that flag and got this. Got a helmet back here. Got an extra flag right there. One of my buddies made this for me and gave it to me. What else do I have? National championship, Clemson champagne. Got that. Got an old dorky hat. Says Clemson right here. Another dorky hat. I'm being funny. Got this. Even one of my old watches has orange on it. It's really good. I got more crap over here that has Clemson tattooed on it. I don't know if you notice, I'm a Clemson fan. If you take all of that away and you isolate that comment, you go, just seems to be that they don't know how to fix the problem. There we go. Let's talk about a few other things. And I admit I had to write some of this down because when I get on a video like this, I admit sometimes my mind just goes poof, and I go, dadgummit, I meant to say that. So to be fair, I'm reading from a few things here. I want you to hear this because this is a big deal. Let's talk about coaches and or players who would criticize the fans for losing belief in them. And you always hear this stuff too. You hear, I mean, I'm not talking about just Clemson. I'm talking about everywhere. Yeah, people stopped believing in us, but we knew we could do it. Nobody believes in us, but we believe in ourselves. Let me be real, everyone. People did believe in Clemson. One of their biggest proceed with caution guys was going, guys, I'm not going to say this is a national championship season. They're going to have to show me a lot, but with all the pieces coming back, it could be special. But I also turn around and I told you what I tell you. If the offense comes out conservative against LSU, we lose. I told you that. It's all over every preseason video I did, especially in the last 2 weeks. Told you that. Went on other shows, told them that. Unfortunately, they ended up coming to fruition. That's one of those moments I wished I was wrong. Well, dadgummit, I wished I was wrong. But people did believe. The preseason hype was real, not because it was empty talk or just noise. It was because they did bring back a bunch of talent. And the experience they had created an expectation that Clemson could truly be considered a top-tier team in 2025. How did the fans respond to this belief in the team? Getting behind the team. They put their dollars where their mouth is and was. They put their time into it. They paid high-ticket prices. They gave to IPTAY. Major donors opened up the checkbook. Businesses showed up. They bought in. But let me tell you this. When faith gets wasted on underperformance, you can't turn around and look at your fan base, point a finger at them, and say, how dare you not believe in us? Excuse me? It's not the fans' job to carry the team with blind faith. It's not. It's the team's job to deliver. Let me rephrase that. It is the coaching and the team's job. The players. Some of them, by the way, have delivered. Some of the players have delivered fantastic this season. Ronan Hannafin, fantastic. Sammy Brown, fantastic. Peter Woods was getting double and I won't even say one time triple teamed in the LSU game. So for all of y'all out there going, I thought he was doing something. He was going to be good. He's commanding a double team, and the NFL sees that. I don't sit around and evaluate talent all the time, but I can tell you this. The NFL loves guys like him because one guy commands the attention of 2 out of the opposing 11, and they're like, we like him because that puts our numbers in our favor. We know that if they don't double team him, he wins every time. And when they double team him to take him out of the game, guess what? That means there's one extra player that we're basically playing with. Law of numbers, baby. There's some players who's really delivering. I know Wesco's had some drops. Wesco's done a fantastic job. Adam Randall, when they gave him the football, the guys actually did pretty well to be a converted running back. Didn't give him the ball barely against LSU. He did pop in the only touchdown of the game for us, didn't he? Yeah, he did. He got stood up and took that 6'2", 230-plus pound body and pounded it into the end zone. And what did the strategy do that day? We're not going to run the ball. LSU comes out and says, yeah, we knew they wasn't going to run the football. Fans aren't acting. Fans are not asking for perfection. They're asking for effort, urgency, and the results that matches the tradition and, listen, the resources Clemson has. When a man says, you know what, I'm going to clear my schedule and I'm going to sit down and watch a football game with my family, that's putting his time in, believe it or not, that's driving ratings and advertisers on these big networks. They're like, we like that. We like it. Hey, we like it when Clemson is featured in a football game, because we notice that afterwards, when we're looking at our analytics, the views ended up turning into dollars for our business. We love that. So maybe you didn't go pay an ungodly amount of money for a terrible ticket to sit basically on the backstop of the upper deck, about to tip off, die. But you sat at home and you watched Clemson. You gave of your time and you drove viewership. That's a big deal. It equals a lot of money, by the way. At the end of the day, us fans asking questions like, why is 1 + 1 = 11 instead of 2? Why is it that Clemson's team cannot pull it together for some reason? Why is it that when Clemson plays a really good football team, they lose now? You're not a bad person for that. You are not a bad person for that. And let's talk about brand. Nationally, Clemson still resonates. It really does. Recruits, TVs, and fans recognize the brand. But momentum matters, and I touched on this just a moment ago. Once kids stop seeing Clemson in the playoff, and once they stop seeing Clemson as a team who wins the big games, and more times than not, they're seeing Clemson lose the big games that they were supposed to play, they look elsewhere. Brand strength can disappear faster than it was built. Wasted eligibility. Every year since 2020 or 2019-ish, we have players that we've wasted their eligibility. Brian Bresee, Miles Murphy. I'll never forget when Brian Bresee committed to Clemson. You remember the meme going around? Clemson just signed Thor. You remember that? I remember it. It's been a while since Thor played for Clemson. Because Clemson was working out something. We don't know what they were working out, but a bunch of wasted eligibility. Recruits notice when talent is mismanaged. NIL and the portal gives players the options. If they feel wasted, they'll leave. And I'm going to tell you right now, I don't know this young man, and I am speaking out of turn. TJ Moore will hit the transfer portal if this keeps on going. You can take that to the bank, and others will. Also, players, a lot of players still want to go to the NFL, though they're making a lot of money in NIL. It can hurt them. It can hurt them. Let's talk about fans right now. And this is going to get really touchy in some areas. This is going to get outrageously touchy. By the way, there's 117 of you in here right now. If you like what I'm doing, I just went over 8,000 subscribers. So to everyone who has subscribed to my 3-year-old channel, just turned 3 a couple of weeks ago, Thank you. I really do appreciate it. I enjoy doing what I do. In fact, I met one of you yesterday. I was out eating with my family, and a guy walks up to the table, and he goes, "Hey, are you that guy with the Clemson YouTube channel?" And I looked up at him and I grinned. And you may be watching, sir. It was a pleasure to meet you. I won't call your name just in case you don't want me to say your name. I looked up at him and grinned. I said, "Well, it's according to whether you want to hit him or not." And we had a really good conversation. And I've got to meet a lot of you. Some people, like the Hendersons, I'm not even in the chat, but I'll guarantee you at least one of them, if not both of them, are in here. I've just got to meet a lot of people, and it's just very, very kind. And y'all supported the channel, and I appreciate it. And so if you haven't supported the channel, which is free, by subscribing, I hope you'll subscribe and pass it along. If you do want to support on a monthly basis, there's a join button below the video. $3 or $5 per month. I just want to make it affordable. I know everything's so doggone expensive, but if you like what I do and you're like, hey, I give $3 a month to the guy, do that. If you're asking what's the difference between the $3 and $5 tier, $3 and $5, according to how much you feel like this is worth. So, also, last but not least, I'm going to get into fans' expectations, what's making everyone crazy, everybody irritable. Before I do that, I talk about college football as a whole on my brand new channel called Another College Football Podcast. The link is below this video. I just want to let you know that this is I called the Notre Dame game. I said that they would win. I actually was wrong on South Carolina. They got absolutely blasted. I called Miami would win. I called Georgia would win. I have the receipts. You can go back and look at it. So anyway, if you like talking college football, you have friends who loves talking college football, I hope you'll pass it along to them and subscribe. It is free. Okay, let's get into the most touchy issue. And some of you, I'm going to lose you. By the way, I have the comment section turned off to where I can't see it because I'll be like, I can tell when I've turned the comment section on for myself. So if anyone said hello or given or anything, some of you give me a $10 super thanks in here, and I haven't mentioned it. It's because I can't see it. So thank you. By the way, you can give a super thanks. I won't stop you. A lot of you have been doing that recently, and it helps. Really does help an independent. Okay, shut up, Brian, and start talking about what you said you were going to talk about. Let's talk about fan expectations and why they're so upset. I've already talked about it, but this is going to get granular, and this could get offensive to some. Fans are upset not with just the losing, but the response to the losing. It is admirable that the coaches and the players would acknowledge that Georgia Tech, by the way, is a good football team. Georgia Tech, this is not the same old trash team that you've seen for the past multiple years. In the past few years, Brent Key's done a really good job. Brent Key can coach. You want to talk about coaching? Georgia Tech doesn't have, and I'm not taking a shot at the Yellow Jackets. They beat Clemson yesterday, but that's a really good example. You can play a team that has a lot more talent than you overall as a conglomerate, and you can beat them if you scheme for it right. And if you want it more than they do. And that's the key right there. Brent Key can coach, and he wants it so bad he'll do anything. As long as it's not wrong that I know of, I hope not, to beat you. There you go. But after games, we're hearing this a lot. Well, you know, they're a good football team. Flip back around. That means you lose most of the time. You lose, or you play a good football team. What does that say about your football team? You're not a good football team anymore. Also, the disconnect of, well, we're just a few plays away. Everything's fine except for that, but we're just a few plays away. I get that and I understand that. As someone who troubleshoots things, part of my job is to troubleshoot. In my everyday job, part of it is to sit down and look at something and say, hey, we have to troubleshoot this. And it's not always fun. Sometimes it makes your head hurt, But that is my job. That's why I was hired. It's part of my job. It's one angle of my job. Other part of it's customer facing. I have to talk with customers. I have to answer some hard questions. I have to put up or I have to not put up, I have to give them the proper answer when maybe I don't know it. I can't stop until I get them an answer and help them. And it's just like we can't troubleshoot why we're always a few plays away. There's coaches across America today at all levels of football that says we're just a few plays away. And there just seems like there's a lack of urgency at Clemson. There's a lot of we feel bad about this, and I believe they do. We feel really bad about this. And you should. I would. But is it you feel bad enough to create urgency? That's a really good question. Next up, guys like Nick Saban and Kirby Smart. Their names ring out, including Dabo. Ring out with a, hey, they've won multiple championships. Of course, Nick Saban's the GOAT. They've won multiple national championships. So this is where it's going to get really offensive. And I am going to tread lightly because I'm not trying to insult anyone. But I want the coaching staff, and I doubt any of them will ever see this. And even if they do, they would just, some of them would probably go, I'm not listening to some guy in the corner of his bonus room with some Clemson flags around it. I'm the specialist. I know what I'm doing. He doesn't get it. I'm under a lot of pressure. I'm not going to listen to it. And this would be my response. Yeah, I don't know the pressure that you're under, but I know the pressure that I'm under every day. I know the pressure that friends of mine are under. That gentleman that walked up to my table last night, I got to talking to him and just kind of learn a little bit about him. I said, hey, if you don't mind me asking, we were talking about the pressure on the coaching staff. I said, well, don't you have pressure in your everyday job? I said, if you don't mind me asking, can you tell me what you do? And he told me. It's very impressive. He owns his own business. He said, my pressure's 24/7. And here's the thing that I'll say. Some of the coaches, they realize that they've got it good, even with the pressure that they have. But the common fan, the average Joe out there, even people with really good jobs, know the expectation that their company or their personal business has for them. And it doesn't matter how well they've done in the past. They will be pulled into the office and they will be told, we're glad you met expectations a long time ago. We're glad you won a long time ago. But we want to let you know that if you don't pull it together, we are going to let you go. And you're sitting there looking at them going, hold on, I thought we were friends, and I thought compared to everyone else that I was doing good, and I thought we were good, and I've went through some things here recently, but now you're threatening my job. Folks, this is a story as old as time. And when you add the amount of money, which, by the way, I have no problem with people making a lot of money. Here's some of you, you're jealous. You're jealous of people, and you attach yourself to some cause and claim that you wish that everybody had a certain amount of money and everything like that and everything. But what it really comes down to is most of you are just jealous of people who make a lot of money. I'm not. At the same time, two things can be true. Multiple things can be true at one time. You have to accept that when a lot of money is involved with someone, They are paid a lot of money because they are a specialist. They truly are an expert in their field. And so when the common man can be so easily fired after giving years to a company or a business or an organization, and they're not paid near what these guys are paid, and they don't get some fat buyout on the back end. Some of these coaches, they need to come back to reality of why the common man would be irritated with them. On top of that, they're coaching a game. And I feel like that has seeped into some of Clemson's coaches. Unless they blow it, money will never be a problem for most of Clemson's coaches. Unless they make a bunch of dumb decisions or get swindled. Or maybe, God forbid, some disease come along and take every dollar that they have. And I don't wish that. That'd have to be, unless it was something rare like that, they'll never have a problem with money. Even when they get fired, they win. You know, a lot of people made fun of Will Muschamp. Will Muschamp won. Jimbo Fisher, $75 million just standing over there on the sideline, like, go ahead and fire me. Kalen DeBoer, a lot of people were making fun of him a few weeks ago. There was a meme going around Instagram, and it showed Nick Saban, even while he was winning by double digits, he was still coaching away. You got Kalen DeBoer. He just got drugged by Florida State, and he still looked calm. You know why? What's his buyout? Go look up his buyout. That's why. I'm not saying he doesn't care, but I'm saying that's his buyout. You and I don't get that. So when we sit and we watch these guys go, we're just a few plays away. These players are now not immune to it because they're getting paid. Some of them a lot of money. That's why a lot of people are angry. They're sitting here going, man, if I approach the game like some of you coaches and some of you players are, if I approach if I approach my role at my job, at my business, in my organization, the way that you're approaching it, I would be axed tomorrow. Or I would be read my rights and I would be given a 6-month plan of action to keep my job. Again, I'm not calling for Coach Swinney. I'm not implying anything. But I'm telling you why a lot of people are angry right now. Because in everyday life, with people who are paid much less, there's a ton of expectation for them too. And it just doesn't sit well with fans when you sit there and you listen to them act like we don't know. And I mean, this is across the board. You'll hear it from players. You'll hear it from coaches on the coaching staff. And it's sitting there going, well, hold on. If you don't know, is that letting us know that is it unfixable? It's a really good question. I have 153 of you in here. If you haven't subscribed already, I hope you will. It's free if you like what I'm doing. And I hope you'll pass it along. That's how the channel grows. Just crossed over 8,000 subscribers. I started this channel 3 years ago. I jokingly say this, but I actually mean it. Starting a channel, a YouTube channel now versus back in 2010 is way different. 2010, you could have a squirrel eating a lollipop and post it, you get 50,000 subscribers. Now, you have to work for it. And I'm not saying other guys didn't work for it, but I'm just saying it's easier. So anyway, if it was easier then than it is now, if you like what I'm doing, I hope you'll pass it along and subscribe. It's free. Next up, another college football podcast, my new channel where I talk about college football as a whole. The link is below this video, and I hope you'll check that out. Also, if you want to join on a monthly basis, $3 or $5 per month, the link is below. I do appreciate it. I'm going to get into the comment section. It's going to make this video much longer. I'm going to miss a bunch of you. Y'all please forgive me. All right. And if you don't, I don't doubt it. I don't doubt why you would miss that. Chris Hobbs just became a member, Super Pal. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you for joining, Chris Hobbs. It's tough. It's really, really tough right now with all the things that have been going on. I want to try to start from the bottom. Nicholas Powell is in here. Our season is done, says Jared Smith. At least playoff and deep run aspirations. Let's just hope for the best and build for the future. Who do I contact about Memphis running back to poach next year? That's funny. Billy Napier buyout is $22 million. 904 Hurricane, good to see you. Harriet DeWine, I am removing my expectations from Clemson. I've had too many heartbreaks. Now I'm going to accept the fact that the golden period of Clemson is over and this is just another team. Yep. Unfortunately, that's it. That's it. Sage X, it's good to see you. Got Justin Parrott in here. Good to see you, Justin. Why do head coaches get mad about questions when they make so much money? I would answer any question every day for that money. Sure. Ticket prices are insane. At least let us in for free. Yeah, I looked at the ticket prices for the Syracuse game coming up, and I'm sitting there going, it's got to drop. I mean, it's got to drop. In fact, it would have been more affordable for me to go to the Georgia Tech game yesterday, and they're not. It's funny. NY Pinstripes, they were likely 2 turnovers plays from winning that game. Sure. Let me see. Okay, that's crazy. Afternoon, Professor. Happy Sunday, young man. Good to see you, John. Big John supports the channel on a monthly basis. Good to see you. Clemson has had one season since 2011 that we won less than 10 games. Yes, sir. We did. It was 2 years ago. If we keep on this trajectory, that'll be 2 out of 3 years. And that concerns me. I'm worried about Gideon hitting the portal too. Going through here a little quicker. I'm overlooking some people. Got Red in here. Red in here, calling Tommy Bowden. Mike Madden, IPTAY stands for his probation time again this year is crazy. The talent doesn't match the jerseys. They need to open up the press just like every other program. I thought their practices, the press did go to it. Where's Danny Ford? That's a big one we always get at this time of the year, or when things are not that well. Sam Taylor, we're back to the Bowden days, just mediocre. I'm just going to say call the timeout on that fire drill. I get it. Billy Cotton said, y'all want Mike Shula. Listen, I know that Sellers got hurt last night, but I told y'all Gamecock fans that replacing Dow Loggins was not going to be easy, and that y'all, and I think you're a Gamecock fan, Billy Cotton. But either way, I told Gamecock fans that losing the vast majority of their defense actually means something, and they scoffed. Okay. Diego Pavia is still running. I'm grilling out burgers. Come over to Duncan and have a Bud Light with me. We can talk Clemson championship history. It's good to talk to you, buddy. Good to see you. Thomas Honeycutt. These Clemson plays are more into spending that money and wearing and showing off their chains. Best is not the standard. A lot of people's feeling that. Bring your own gutless. That's funny. Where is All In? Now we have, where is BYOG? Don't kill me. I'm just a vibe. Saying he don't know how to fix it and he shouldn't be fired is weird. I'm going to tell you this. I understand what you're saying there. 100%. Dabo Swinney deserves the benefit of the doubt. At the same time, how many years can he continue to receive the benefit of the doubt? And I hope that Coach Swinney asks himself that and realize that it's, again, it goes back to that whole uncomfortable thing I talked about at the very end. The common everyday Joe can have many years of unbelievable success within a business. And you've heard the story more times than probably not. They get axed one day just because they had for much less. And, I just, I don't want anything happening to Coach. I don't want Coach Swinney fired. But I feel like that he needs to feel some of that common man pressure. The common man pressure is not a $60 million buyout. Common man pressure is, I make X amount of dollars, and if it stretches, it stretches, and I still have to live. I still have to, even when I don't feel like performing, I have to perform or else my family goes homeless. So when you get so much money involved, I think that, and you've had the success that he's had, I think you get a detached from pressure that, yes, you do have, versus everyday common man pressure. And then when you start to feel a little bit of the everyday common man pressure, you step back and you go, hold on, this is uncommon to me, Could be wrong. Could be wrong. Nah, he knows, and I think that is why he feels lost. He would be forced to be like everyone else and hire for talent instead of culture fits. Right? This is true. All fans buy into the hype every spring and summer. Everyone wants to think this is the year. This year, we should have thought that this was the year with talent coming back. But I will tell you right now, you thought I was cautiously optimistic before. Some calls it pessimistic. Meet the new me. I'm not going to expect them to do anything until the season's over. And then I can look back and go, oh, that was my expectation. And if y'all think now is bad, think about next year when a lot of the talent that we have is gone. Please be real, Brian. No more excuses for Dabo. You know me, Tiger Man. I'm not going to give excuses for Dabo. I'm going to be civil. I'm not going to call for the man's head. But I have laid out some really, really tough truths here. And if Coach Swinney heard it, he'd probably be angry at me. He'd go, how dare you? And some people would go, here you are putting words in the coach's mouth. I've seen how he's got irritated when people have said things along the lines that I'm saying. And I would even be irritated with it. But I always ask, I try to do this. And y'all, I fail. I fail at this. Even if my worst enemy says something to me in the most harsh way, after I calm down, I'll sit in the corner somewhere away from everybody and ask myself, was there actually a bit of truth there? Because if I were to fix that thing, maybe things would change for the better. They would just have to lie about me. But if even my worst enemy tells me a truth about myself, would it not be beneficial to me to accept the truth and apply it? Desperate man. So many of you keep talking about all the talent we had coming back. You fail to remember we lost 4 games last year, 3 or 4 the year before, and you're ignoring the truth we see. I get part of what you're saying, desperate men, but we brought in Tom Allen, and you got me on Garrett. I mean, unless Coach Swinney's been calling plays or whoever's calling plays, we see the offensive play calls change. And I gave them the benefit of the doubt, and I should have just waited and said, hey, you know what? Are we going to change the game plan and then go from there? That was my bad, and I should have done that. How many people are in here? There's a ton of you in here. I can't get to all the comments. Dwight Heaton, good to see you. Willman, good to see you. I'm not surprised. The players look uninterested, no passion. That last drive, they took their time like they were driving for the winning. All right, folks. We're going to go down to the very bottom of the screen, see if I've missed any other comments. I probably have. Chase Turner, good to see you. Chase Turner, Tyler from Spartanburg was right. I honestly see the defense improve this year from last year. I think Allen has it moving in the right direction. They're more physical. Yeah, I would just like I would like more aggressiveness. I really would. I really, really would. I really would. But the defense is better. I just like to see more aggressiveness. Let me see. Brian is pessimistically optimistic. Yes, I love it. I love it. Well, I am going to I'm going to peace out on that one, folks. I'm thinking about doing a call-in show tonight. What do y'all think about that? Now, here I'm thinking about doing a call. I say tonight, but a little later on. I'm thinking about it. And here's the thing: I know some call in, they'll let a person come on and they'll stay on there for like 30 minutes and ramble about a bunch of weird stuff. I'm not doing that. You get about 2 or 3 minutes, gonna hop on, even if I know you, even if you've been a supporter for a long time, even if I don't know you, we come on here about 2 or 3 minutes, we chat, and then we go. Because sometimes that just gets overwhelming. Also, we just keep it clean. I can't listen. I know you. We keep it family friendly. I'll never forget one time I was working at a company, and a guy used a word. I'm just going to leave a word, and I was like, oh yeah, that's considered a bad word by a lot of people. It was a derogatory statement towards the body part. I'm just going to leave it at that. He looked at me. He turned around. He looked at me. He said, "Bad word." What do you mean, bad word? And my thought on that is, go say that in front of HR and see if they think it's a bad word. So, yeah, we need. I want to be family friendly if I do it, but anyway, y'all take care of yourself. Subscribe if you hadn't already, and pass it around. Y'all take care of yourself, and as always.